we're rolling like stones downhill, like a snowball downhill. It gets bigger and bigger, then it crushes down. Hello and welcome back to another Esports Vikings weekly thing. This time we're gonna talk about this game called League of Legends, and because of that we have an intruder on the couch.
Hello, my name is Miika. I'm our esports writer and I pretty much write about League of Legends and some other games, but this is my main game and that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him because this is not our main game, so
Yeah.
We'll see how many questions we have for poor Miika, but there's probably quite a few.
And that's Janne, by the way, the Swedish guy.
Hello again. But yeah.
Okay, so straight to the point. To my best knowledge, 12 teams were invited to League of Legends play-ins, which is kind of like the stage before the group stage.
Yeah.
12 teams were invited to group stage.
Yes.
And 8 teams make it through the groups to the playoffs, right?
Yes.
And to start this episode off, let's do a quick kind of a recap kind of thing about the play-in stage and what happened over there. So
the playing stage, there was 12 teams, as you said, and 4 of them get to the group stage of the main tournament. So the playing teams, they were divided for 4 groups, and each of them have 3 teams, and the teams were divided like 3 seeds, and first seed and second seed and third seed, and every group has one of each seed.
okay.
And the teams that qualified for the main tournament were all the first seed, so they were teams that should have been the best team in the tournament that they were. But it wasn't it wasn't easy for them. Some of them, it was good struggle for some of them, but the main favorites did get through. So
they made it in the end, yeah.
They made it in the end, but it was close, at least for our European representative. I don't know. Representative Splice.
Representative.
Yeah.
Sure. I think, like I said, I'm not that into League of Legends, but I've been following it like for the first time, and it was actually pretty fun to see, like, because all the favorites, because I knew the favorites beforehand, and they all made it, but it was really, really close. Like you felt like it actually could have went the other way in almost every group or in every game as well.
Yeah, and a 3-way tie in one group was like something else. Like any team could have taken that group, and I think the main highlight for me in play-ins was the Splice against Unicorns of Love's playoff game. It was a tightest one. It was a whole 5 games, and that has backstory in it because Unicorns of Love was playing in EU LCS before it franchised and changed to LAC, and they actually were not invited to franchise league. After they were playing like 3 years in LCS, they got left out from the new league, and so they transferred to CIS, the Russian league, and now they are playing in World's Plains, and they played against LAC team. So it was kind of great, and the Splice has 2 players that previously played for Unicorns of Love in LCS.
So I actually had no idea about that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the top laner Visit Sachi and jungler Xerxes, they both played for Unicorns of Love when Unicorns of Love got demoted out of the league. So
that was pretty interesting too, because Unicorns of Love were really close to already go out in the groups, right? Yeah. Was that the 3-way tie?
Yeah, that was a 3-way tie.
Sure. So Splice won 3-2 against Unicorns of Love in the playoff.
Yes.
And Splice has started with a win as well, we should say, in Worlds now, right?
Yes. Splice has won their first game. Yeah. They played 1 game, and so they are
looking pretty good.
Yeah, they would win against Vietnamese Cam Esports.
Well, speaking of the teams who made it through the play-in, though, because we have one team that I'm pretty sure most people believe in, was it Damwon?
Yes, Damwon Gaming.
The Koreans?
Yeah, the Koreans were first time in the plains because there is 5 major regions, and the best region of all, they get all the 3 teams at the group stage, and 4 other has to play. That the third seed have to play in the playing stage, and usually it's been Korea that has their all teams in the group stage. But right now it's China, so it's first time that Korea played in play stage, and Damo was the first Korean team ever to.
So we have those 2 teams looking pretty good since Supply started with a win. That's a good start for them. Then we have Clutch Gaming and Hong Kong Attitude.
Yes.
How about that? What do you think the chances are in the main event?
The Hong Kong Attitude is a kind of famous team for play-ins because it's only major region team that hasn't qualified from play-ins. 2 years ago, Hong Kong Attitude was the only team this far for major region that hasn't go through the play-in stage. But yeah, it's pretty. They looked good in a play-in stage, but it's looking kind of bad in a group stage. They made it through, but I think they don't make through from group stage.
Well,
and
as somebody who doesn't, I'm not that into League of Legends, right? So I was checking out some odds, and they were like 100 to 1 to win their group. So, but it's funny because we have our pick and challenge, and I know somebody had them as number 1.
Just let's wait for that. But one thing, like besides Clutch Gaming winning 3-0 to get through from the play in the last game, but one thing that's really interesting about the planes is that they actually have best of 5s in the first stage of the tournament.
Yes.
So I think that's brilliant in the sense that, especially when you see these tight games with some background story and such, it's amazing entertainment for the viewers.
Yes. And those are go through or go home best of 5s. So it's like a really, really amazing format, I think, because you get, like, before the Worlds even really start, you get the best of 5s that are go home or go through. So it's like good for the hype.
Yeah.
And about Clutch Gaming, you said 3-0 against the Turkish Royal Youth. Clutch Gaming is maybe the most entertaining team in the whole tournament because there is 2 sides of Clutch Gaming. They go in and they int the whole game, or they go in and they are brilliant and they can defeat anyone. And it's 50-50 which one you see.
So it's always like on-off kind of thing.
Yes, they play off-meta picks. They play very aggressive. They play different tactics and sometimes they tilt each other and sometimes they like rise and shine and do everything correctly. And it's either of those. There's no middle ground with them.
Well, teams like that are always entertaining to watch for sure.
Yeah,
so.
And those are the ones that kind of like easy to pick up because you kind of like when they are winning, everybody jumps on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And when they're losing, so it's kind of like memey in a sense.
Yeah, and they have the Huni, the Korean top laner, which is a meme himself. He's played in Europe, rise to the top, and then he played in NA. Was kind of good. It was good, but played in bad team. And then he actually played for SKT for 1 year and then qualified for the Worlds with SKT, and now is back to NA and Clutch Gaming. And it's kind of like player that needs to be in highlights. He wants to get all the attention from fans and opponents and home team and Clutch Gaming lives and dies with Huni.
I was just about to say, it probably means that the whole team is built around him in that case.
Yeah, and Huni has been bad in the teams where like there is other star players.
So he needs to be the sunshine.
Yeah, and he likes the attention because if the like media attention and everything is on him, he plays better. And if he's just one of the team, like he was in the SKT, maybe the best team in the world, he was just one player, and there is Faker and guys like that, the same team. He really disappeared in the shadows and wasn't really doing that well. But now in Clutch Gaming, everything is built around him, and if he plays good, the whole team plays good, and it's really good to see, and really good to see Huni being really positive and happy. His smile is so infectious, and he's like
Teemus.
Yeah, like Teemus, and he's really entertaining at the Rift and at the interviews and everywhere. So really the player to watch in this tournament.
Yeah. So I think one thing is interesting here because I was actually reading up on Clutch Gaming and watching some of the games. And if I'm correct, and we'll come to the groups later, but I'll mention it here, they have a pretty tough group as I understand it.
Yes, they do.
But
looking tough. But you or me? Okay, well, I was gonna say maybe we should move on to Miika's rankings of the teams because I think that's super interesting. As somebody, I feel like I have an idea, but I want to have a second opinion.
Or actually, you read my mind. That's where I was going at because you mentioned SK Telecom and they're probably being the best team in the world. So we have 16 teams now in the group stage. So as I heard, you made a ranking from basically 1 to 16.
Yes, and I made it before the group stage begin. Now we've seen 2 days of group stage, and this ranking is made before group stage begin. So it's like predictions how the group stage goes. So the first games has not affected in this power ranking.
So you're saying you would want to change it?
Not maybe. I think there's not that much I would change now.
Sure.
Maybe there's few teams that has shaky summer and has shown up first games. So maybe put them 2 or 3 ranks above where they are today. But this is pretty good. I've been pretty on point with the ranking, I think.
Okay, let's do it like this. I'm going to say a team. Yes. We're going to go from top to bottom.
Yes.
And you're going to give me maximum 3 sentences of them.
All
First
right.
of being like why you have them ranked there, and then just a few words about the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so to start up on the first position, we have SK Telecom.
Yeah. It's been maybe best team in the world for multiple years. They slumped a little bit a few years ago, but now they're back in top. They rebuilt and now they are ready to again take the championship.
Okay, number 2, G2 Esports.
Yeah, G2 Esports won the mid-season invitational that played after Spring Split, which has all the best region winners, and they won against SKT there, and they were best team at the spring, and I think they're still at top after the summer.
All right. On third spot, you have Fun Plus Phoenix.
Yes. Fun Plus Phoenix has risen in China. It's really, really good. Has really good solo laners, and that's how the meta is played this day. So I think they're gonna be strong, and they have easiest group of all the major competitors for the championship, so they should be first seed going for the playoffs. So they have easier way towards to
I have a question about this though.
Yeah.
So Fun Plus Phoenix is one of the Chinese teams, and then we have Invictus Gaming, and Invictus Gaming is the reigning champion.
Yes.
So, but you see Fun Plus Phoenix as the better Chinese team?
It's only looked at the summer. Invictus Gaming has had really bad summer split. They did qualify for the Worlds, but they didn't look very convincing. Invictus Gaming is the one team I would have changed the most if I've seen the 2 of their games before this ranking.
Sure.
Invictus Gaming has shown maybe the second best team after SK Telecom in their first 2 games. They've been really, really convincing. So maybe if they would be above Fun Plus Phoenix if I did this now.
Sure.
But
I was just curious. For me, I mean, looking at somebody who won last year, obviously, I think like, they should probably be good again. But I have no insight.
This is like Dota as OG has. They look shaky sometimes before TI, but when TI comes, it's go time. And same is for Invictus Gaming this year.
That's gonna be cool to follow, actually.
Yeah. Back to rankings. Number 4, Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic.
You're a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy, but for this, this hasn't really mattered much. It's because G2 Esports is so highly appreciated as one of the best teams in the world. Maybe even competing SK Telecom for that place. And Fnatic made them go to Game 5 2 times at the European playoffs. So in semi-finals and finals, they did go to Game 5 against them, and in the semi-finals they were 2-0 up against G2. So they are really competing against G2, and if G2 is one of the best teams, maybe best team in the tournament, Fnatic has to be in top 5.
All right.
Fnatic can have problems with Chinese teams. So it's for Fnatic, it's like who they face in playoffs. They always struggle against Chinese teams, but they are very good against G2 and Korean teams. So if they get like IG or FunPass Phoenix in the first round of the playoffs, they can go out.
Right.
But if they play against G2 or even SKT, they can go really far.
Sure. Fair enough. Number 5, Damwon Gaming, the Koreans from the plains.
Yeah, this is maybe one of the teams. Some of the analysts don't agree with me. They are young. They are new prodigies. They are every one of them are first timers in Worlds or even any international competition. So like they are mechanically really good, but they don't have the experience yet. But for me, I think that they placed in play-ins is really good for them because they had to play important best of fives and they won group stage already. So the nervousness is gone. So now they are more experienced because of play-ins than they should have been for the first time. So I think they are very lucky to be placed in the play-ins because they get to play some important games before the group stage begins. So I think they'll be really good. They want to show, they want to be best of the world. So I think they will go far.
So they have the skill but not the experience.
Yes.
But that can sometimes be a good thing, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, if they start rolling, right, then it can be a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, just go for it.
Number 6, Royal Never Give Up.
Yeah, it's all about Uzi in the bot lane. Maybe one of the best players in the world right now, and always wants to do good and build teams around him that will do good. Royal Never Give Up, always solid. They've never really like made highlight plays in Worlds. They are really good, but they haven't won the competition, and I'm sure Uzi wants to win the Worlds, and I think they're going far too.
Yeah. On 7th, well, we actually talked about it a bit before. We have Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, they are solid right now. Like they are playing like a little bit differently than other teams right now. They are just chilling first 25 minutes. They don't really mind what is happening. They play their own game. They farm up. After 25 minutes, they win 2 team fights and win the game. They've done it twice against solid teams.
It's just consistent dominance.
They are just dominant in mid-game. So I don't know how somebody will stop that. At least first 2 games, nobody has done that. And I'm interested to see if that goes on.
Actually, I'm a little bit curious here. Is that, would you say, in a game like League of Legends, is that something that people can use against them, you know? Because they are really good in the mid-game, but can somebody find out how to beat them enough in the early game, you know, to get it out of?
Of course they can try, but they've seem like really solid team. And they just play their own stuff. They just farm up. They don't really go any skirmishes or something like that. They play on the turret. They farm up. They take Dragon or 2 and then they go and destroy their opponent. So I don't know, like many teams like wants to go hard in an early game and then snowball, but teams can't do that against Invictus Gaming, it seems. So it's gonna be really interesting to see, and when the playoffs goes, it's best of 5, so it changes everything. The teams can do some cheese picks and let's see if that is the way to defeat them. Last year nobody did. Maybe this year somebody can.
So I have an idea. Since we are doing way more than 3 sentences about teams, but these are the the good teams, right, or the top teams. So how about the second half? We go with one word.
One word.
Or okay, 3
Okay,
words.
okay, 3
we
words.
have one-
Yeah, okay. We have number 8. Now it's number 8. That's Griffin.
Yeah, this we can talk.
You can talk still.
Thank you. Yeah, Griffin is kind of interesting team. It's very good. They played very good season. They, of course, Korean team, so it's like they are one of the favorites. But they did let their coach go just before Worlds, and there is some internal struggle there. Nobody really knows why the coach leave or get kicked out, and there's some drama involving, I'm sure, and it's of course playing without coach or playing with assistant coach, it's different. So I'm not really sure what's their focus right now and things like that. So that's why they're only placed 8. If you look at their summer season, they should be higher up, but.
Would you say, since this is a Korean team and we had Damwon in the play-in, would you say that most people would have Griffin above them, like in general?
Yeah, in general, if you just look at the Korean league, Griffin should be above them.
Okay, sure.
But the struggle internally, I think it's got to like show.
Yeah, I was just curious if that was the reason you would change them, you know?
It has a part to play.
Yeah, of course.
So now we get to the bottom 8. So, did we agree on 3 words? Okay.
We can try.
Okay, we can try. Number 9, Team Liquid.
Best team NA.
That's not much if you're 9th in world rankings.
Well, that's NA.
Number 10, GAM Esports.
Well, Chaos and Fiesta.
Chaos and Fiesta.
Alright, that sounds like fun.
That
I'm gonna watch
sounds
some
like
of
fun,
the games now.
Number 11, we have Choke 9. Or Cloud 9. Sorry.
Always made out of groups.
Always made out of groups.
Right, we'll
okay,
accept
so they're
that.
not Choke 9 then?
Yeah, they choke on in the playoffs.
Okay, yeah.
So in League of Legends, they actually turned it around. And
But Cloud9 is interesting because NA usually is bad in Worlds, but somehow Cloud9 is not, and they're like going as third seed from NA, and then they always go out of, like, come through from the groups, and all the best NA teams just choke and just doesn't do anything in groups.
Okay. On the 12th spot, we have Clutch Gaming.
Actually, I can answer this. Huni. Move on.
Yeah.
Fair.
See, I learned something.
Lucky number 13, J Team.
Bad region.
Oh dear.
14.
Wait, actually, what region? Is that the LMS league?
LMS league.
Okay, yeah.
The LMS has been going downhill very fast last 2 years. So.
All right, fair enough.
14th, we have AHQ Esports Club.
How do you even say that team name?
AHQ.
AHQ? Or?
Esports spelled wrong. Nothing else to say about this team. Really.
Number 15.
Your favorites?
Hong Kong Attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can answer that. Name band.
Yeah.
Name band. Because it says Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The casters are not allowed to say the team name, which is Hong Kong Attitude. They're forced to say HKA, which is ridiculous. Take politics out of this shit. Thank you. 16. Splice.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Splice is okay. Splice played better than 16 team. I want to elaborate this. I can't say this in 3 words. Splice is different, like kind of special.
Prediction failure.
No, actually. Well, Splice is playing super meta game, super safe game. And my prediction was that it can't hold against best team in the world because it can't hold against Fnatic or G2 even. Yeah. They are like crushing Splice every time they meet. Yeah. So same will be going like SKT or FunPlus Phoenix or Invictus Gaming. Like Invictus Gaming plays the same style as Splice but much better. And Splice can go through the groups because the group is like easiest group of all time in the worlds. they have 0% chances to win the Worlds. That's how
so
I
it's
see
because
it.
of their play style.
It's just that they play so safe, and then they want to go like long game and play safe and just hope opponent makes a mistake they can take hold of the game, and it doesn't work against best teams of the world. That's just it.
What Splice needs to do is grow some cojones.
Yes.
Get some cojones into the game.
All right, so because they have the easiest group, they have a chance to go through, but then it's the end of the road,
Yeah, they have no chance to win this or go to finals. So that's my opinion. I like Splice very much. I think they are third best team in the EU, but they get crushed against G2 Fanatics, and they will get crushed against Koreans.
Okay. Right. We have a few more minutes left, so I think, Janne, you might have a couple questions to ask.
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously we went through the ranking now, so we have a picture of what you think, and most of it is, the image I have gotten from watching the play-ins and reading up a little bit more than usual about the Worlds. But I think, is there any of these teams that are maybe on the bottom half or, not the top tier teams, but that could have the potential to just make it far? Even though they might be ranked number, 10 to 16, but they have a play style or something that makes them
let's say
have a chance.
Team ranked on the 15th, Hong Kong Attitude, my dark horse.
No chance.
They have why you have to shoot them down?
Well,
they're in the tournament.
Well, they struggled in playing stage.
But they went through.
So what are you trying to say? They are in the tournament, so therefore they are...
It's a participation trophy, come on!
Well, to be honest, playing against other top 15 teams in the world is a good merit in itself. And they finally
Look how nice we are here.
And they finally go through the playings like last time they didn't. So they've been evolving in 2 years, but still... No chance going out of the groups.
Let's change the question, because we have all the North American teams from 9 to 12 or around there. Does any of the NA teams have a chance to go, let's say, semi-final or final?
Well, as I said, Cloud9 is always playing their best game in the world, so of course they... But actually, when I saw the first game from Team Liquid, they actually look pretty good. I think they're a good team.
And they won against Down one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's pretty solid.
I think, and they're placed 9. They maybe deserve 1 or 2 places better in the ranking, but I really don't trust them. The Double Lift and some other players in the team, they're always playing worse than usually when they go to big stage. So they haven't been performing in the world, so I didn't have much trust on them before the group stage games, but their first game looks solid, so I'm thinking maybe Team Liquid could do something.
All right.
After, if I remember correctly, they are playing in the same group as Cam, and Cam looked very bad. So
I'm gonna stop you right here. One more question, one more answer, and then we're running out of time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it seems to me like the top teams are pretty rock solid though, so maybe there's not that much potential. Okay, it's 2 quick ones, please.
Okay.
So I have one about the toughest group and easiest group. Is there, we have that one really tough group that we talked about, and that could actually create a situation where we have some really good teams going out early on, right?
Yeah, we have the group where it's SKT, Fnatic, and Royal Never Give Up at the same group, and only 2 goes forward, and all of them teams are top 6 in my ranking.
Yeah, so right now it looks like Fnatic and RNG are, at least at this moment, fighting for it, right?
Yeah, they haven't played against each other. They will play tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Tuesday,
yesterday for you. Yeah, so on Tuesday they will play against each other, and that will be massive.
Yeah.
Both of them has lost to SKT and won their other game, so that will be massive.
Make sure to watch that. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Make sure you watched it.
Yeah, make sure you watched it.
Yeah.
Take your.
So that will be really, really.
Okay, one
Okay.
quick.
I'll take my last question because I actually am really curious about this. I want to have your top 3 players in the world right now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, Faker number 1, back in Throne.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I didn't like him last year, so
Sure.
so it's like it's big for me to rank him best right now because I hated 2018 Faker.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
second, doing P, Phoenix OnePlus.
Okay. Sure.
Third one, Uzi RNG.
Okay.
All right. That's funny because some of those players come from, a little bit all over the rankings though from the teams.
My
That's
favorite League of Legends player is Cyanide.
I don't even know who it
He's
is.
Finnish.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's retired.
And bad at the game right now.
He was amazing.
Yeah,
Alright.
I agree. Was amazing.
This was good because now I definitely have a better picture of what to watch when I.
This was
keep
definitely
watching
fun.
games. Yeah, sure.
As per usual, we're doing social media stuff in Twitter in multiple languages about League of Legends. We have a lot of stuff on our website which you should check out. Now you will like and subscribe to Now you will like this video and subscribe to our channel because we do this all the time. It's been really fun to talk about League of Legends.
For sure. Actually, looking forward to watching it for the first time properly.
Yeah.
So gonna be for good fun.
So this is it for this week then.
All right.
Yeah, it's been having fun.
It's been.
We'll see you
fun.
next week.
See you next
Peace
week.
with that.
Ciao.